up until this past fall, this was all grass over here. You know, I went into a small little backyard off the end of the turnaround here, and then it went down into the woods, and the wooded area started at about the same basic place as where the pool pump is, right? So there were trees at about this line coming back. While it's certainly not a perfectly level piece of land, you know, I was able to get it leveled out enough to put a pole building in. So we did most of the legwork on this last fall. We got a pole building designed and under contract, and now we're in April and we're ready to get this thing done. So tomorrow they're actually it's scheduled to be delivered, and then this week construction should begin. And you know, for the most part, I think the building might be up and in place this weekend, so we'll see. So anyways, you know, the process was get the design, get a permit, get the trees removed. The tree removal fellow was a real professional. He had all the toys, and for the most part he pretty much did this as a one-man job, removing all these trees and clearing it out. Very impressive indeed. Which we did, obviously, and then I had to get an excavator who would create a nice level pad for the building, and which was also done. And seems to me the excavation was about a 3-day job. Again, a real professional, had the right equipment for the job. They came in, they stripped, you know, all the topsoil out. They brought in made a nice driveway cut, and they brought in, I don't know, 20 or 30 loads of fill, and they would spread that, and then they would roll it to compact it. So it's a really stable pad that's there, and very pleased with the results of that one as well. You know, that at the same time they put in some stone here so we can get vehicles in and out of here. You know, whether this stone remains or not, or you know, whether what I do with this in the future, I don't know. But for now, we've got access to the site. You know, there will be some additional big equipment, including a cement truck that will come in to pour the concrete for the inside and the pad outside. And we're going to do put in some pavers and tie the building and the lean-to that we have designed into the pool area. So this will also become a new covered area that is usable by the pool. A lot of the pool equipment and so forth can be stored inside the building. So, you know, we're pretty excited about it. Had to remove some fence to do that tie-in, and then we'll, you know, have to redo some fence once we've got everything else done. But it's my hope that we can get most of this done before we actually open the pool for the season. So that's the introduction, and I'll take some videos as this thing moves forward. Well, the pole building delivery did arrive on time. As you can see, everything comes on a rollback truck, and I was kind of surprised how easily he was able to get this unloaded and drop it in one nice little location for the crew when they started to arrive. And sure enough, here comes the crew to do the foundation work right on time. So we're at the stage here where everything has been marked out, so they know exactly where they're going to drill every post. They know exactly what the boundaries are. Got it all marked out, ready to go. So apparently this calls for 24-inch foundation piers. So I'm curious to see how that's all done. So I can see as he's digging it, they put all the fill on the inside of the building. When the fella checks the depth and he tamps it to get a good, make sure there's no loose soil at the bottom, I imagine. So I imagine they're using a 24-inch bit on that thing to get the 24-inch footings. But what do I know? Okay, holes are all drilled. Inspector was here to check them out. They were dumping bags of concrete mix into each hole and then mixing it in the hole. So I'll get some pictures after they're done. Well, concrete footers are poured. So, 2 days, next crew will come, start to do the carpentry. The main crew showed up right on time. Spent quite a bit of time making sure they knew exactly where each corner post was going to go. That was particularly important in our case because, you know, we are very close to the property line on the one side, and we wanted to make sure we were not infringing beyond the code requirements. So they pretty much figure out which pole goes where, and then they get busy placing them. And once they've got it placed, you know, they put more concrete around the base of the post, and then they backfill it. So it's kind of an interesting process to watch, and obviously that's what these guys do all the time, and it was neat. Okay, poles are being put up and straightened out. Another gentleman is actually cutting the batter board pieces, which will go towards the bottom. So they're flying right along. I did not realize, but it gets a double truss on the end. I don't know if you can see that. There's a truss on the outside of the beams, or the post, and there's a truss on the inside of the post as well. Okay, here we are, end of day one. I'm inside the building. It looks very large from inside. So that board you see on the bottom, as I understand it, the stone will fill up to the bottom of that board, and then that'll be used as a form for the concrete, and the concrete will come 6 inches up on that board. So I'll give you an idea where the floor level will be, and that should be at the same level as the pool deck over there. So it's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. All right, good news. Day 2, they came back. They're here. A couple things going on here at the same time. It looks like they're starting to work on one of the lean-tos. They call it a lean-to. I'm going to call it a porch roof over my pool deck. But in pool building parlance, it is a lean-to. There's one off the side and then there's one off the front. You'll see once that gets up there. Okay. Got a gable end of the lean-to going up now. I've got a fella going around framing window openings. Let's see if I can get my pointer here. See, there's a window opening there. There's one here. He's got one on the back, the far side, and actually the one on the front as well. And there's another fella up in the gable end above the garage that's putting in soffit. You can see when they put the gable ends up, they already have the channel in place to receive the soffit. Well, we're at the end of day 2. They've got most of the siding on around the main part of the building. There's quite a bit of work going on that lean-to and getting the all the trim positioned correctly, the way the lean-to ties into everything. But I think one more day they'll basically have it done, with the exception of the brick that, you know, kind of works from here around the front of the building for the lower 4 feet, right? That gets a brick veneer on it. So, you know, they're back tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. And they got busy on the roofing, among other things. You'll notice that I did opt for the insulation under the steel roof. Primary reason for that is to prevent condensation from forming on the inside of the building, which would form on the roof, and then eventually it will, you know, it will drop down on the things you have inside. And that worked out well. I have no condensation problems inside the building at all. So I would highly recommend, you know, that one upgrade. Really had no reason to heat the building, so, you know, overall insulation wasn't something I was concerned with. All right, so I'm on the morning after the 3rd day of construction, and basically the crew is done. There are a couple loose ends that will be handled by other crews. You know, the garage door has to go on yet. That's a separate outfit does that. There's some brick veneer that goes on the front and around the side. That'll be handled by a separate place. The ceiling under my lean-tos are not done because the framing inspection hasn't been done yet, so that has to happen first. And I don't know, there's a couple other loose ends here or there, but generally it's done. So pretty excited about it. I think it's looking great. Can't wait to get the concrete down. That happens as well, obviously, separate crew. But there you go. Love it. Bye.